Hey, this is Jon Guerrero. Our guest today is Damjan Gjorgiev. You're thinking, ooh, I've heard of this guy. Well, that's because he has the exotic name of an international player. And if you really have heard of him, then perhaps you too are from Skopje, the capital of North Macedonia, where Damjan is an audio engineer and a student of public relations with a focus on music, media, and entertainment. He's also the newest addition to the Break It Down show team. He helps us with editing and the construction of each episode. He's been the music editor at FM 92.9 Skopje for the last 6 years, and as a freelance audio engineer, he's got well over 1,000 podcast episodes under his belt. Now, Damjan is living his dream of working with people around the world, and if you care about the things that put people like us together, do us a solid, man. Take a moment right now and hit subscribe. Go ahead. Hit it. See, that was easy. Now, also really easy, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to the Break It Down show, and write us a review. Doesn't have to be long or complicated. You don't need to write the Skopje Entertainment Journalist Manifesto. Just something simple, like, man, these guys are cool. Or, that Damjan sounds like a sexy motherfucker, and I bet he's the favorite son of all of North Macedonia. Short, poignant, and you'd be right. And if you really want to hook a brother up, share us with your friends. You know, the ones who love music, culture, entertainment, and a good time. That's our tribe. And we love you long time if you write that review in Cyrillic. Damjan designed our Break It Down show t-shirts with the Cyrillic logo, and that has instantly become my favorite piece of clothing, and is the perfect topper to Sunga Life board shorts if you're enough of a player to have a pair of those. Now, if you go to music festivals around North Macedonia, you've probably seen Damjan or heard his work as a stage manager or production manager, or perhaps you see him hanging with his dog Ziggy. Yes, he's named after Ziggy Stardust. And when we recorded this episode, Damjan was on vacation in Greece. Nice life, huh? I think he had just gotten home from the club. It was like 5 a.m. Anyway, he does a great job for us, and it stems from his personal motto, which is pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. We couldn't have said it better. You're going to find pleasure in this episode with our guest, our teammate, our North Macedonian homeboy. Here's Damjan Gjorgiev.
Lions Rock Productions.
This is Jay Moore.
This is Greg Proops.
This is Jordan Harbinger.
This is Dexter from The Offspring.
This is Nathan
This
East.
is Sebastian Younger.
This is Rick Marotta.
This is Stuart Copeland.
This is Mick Gillette.
This is Andy Summers.
Hey, this is Skunk Baxter.
This is Gabby Reese.
This is Rob Bell.
Hey, this is Jon Guerrero.
Hey, and this is Pete A. Turner.
Hey everybody, here's Damjan from Skopje, Macedonia, and you're listening to The Break It Down Show.
And now, The Break It Down Show with Jon Guerrero and Pete A. Turner.
Yes, indeed. We are excited to have Damjan on. He helps us with the show. He's our first international team member. Really, besides me and Pete, on a technical level, he's our first team member. And, man, you do a great job. I'll tell you, I have to say, Damjan, Pete started this operation with you. I was skeptical to begin, not anything against you personally, but just editorial decisions are such an important part of the process. And to entrust somebody to make editorial decisions, for me, was difficult thing to let go of. It was hard for me to accept that somebody else could have that kind of control of the show, of the audio quality, of the sense of timing and pacing. And as soon as Pete started sharing with me the shows that you had done, I was able to really relax. So I appreciate your work, and I appreciate the level of quality you deliver is great, man.
Thanks guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
I yell at him quite a bit, though.
Give us some background. Tell us how you came up and how you began your own processes and where you are artistically and what things influenced you, all that stuff. Start at the beginning. How'd you get into audio anyway?
Well, since I remember myself, I have interest in music and music production and always wanted to go on concerts and music festivals. And as a dream job as a kid, my idea was to work somewhere in music, actually. I started playing guitar when I was 6 years old. And then about making music, I started like when I was a teenager, had some bands playing bass guitar there. and sometimes singing. And when I was 17 years old, I was chilling home, and a friend of mine called me and asked me, "Hey, man, do you want to work in a radio station?" And I was like, wow, this is my dream job. Like, let's do it right now. He invited me to a local radio station, and he showed me how to produce a interview and how to work on a mixer and show me a lot of things. And yeah, that's how I started. And I'm still there, actually. I'm still working in the Student FM 92.9 radio network.
They got you hooked.
Yeah, they got me hooked like 6 years. Yeah.
So in this path, your personal path as a musician, how are you as a musician? Are you still playing? Are you still active? Are you still, or have you gravitated more towards the audio side and concentrating on that? What are you doing?
Well, when I started, it went really good. We won on a local festival. As a group, we were playing ska reggae music. That was really good.
All right.
But we were all teenagers and like 7 members in the band. And you know, when you have 7 members in a band and they're all teenagers.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of opinions.
Yeah. It's a lot of different minds. So we broke as a band. Then I made some new bands, and that was okay. We played some jazz with hip hop. It was really good, but the other band broke up. And since then, I'm just focused on producing and making electronic music with one of my friends. Actually, we made songs for theatrical show in Croatia. That was our last project.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask you a little bit about the Macedonia part of things, because a lot of folks in the world, and there's a lot of people all over the world that listen to this show. So give us an idea of where Macedonia is in Europe.
Geographically or politically, or both?
Yes.
Yeah, first of all, geographically, Macedonia, or now it's called North Macedonia, that's the political part, is located in the Balkans, south from Serbia, north from Greece, east from Albania, and west from Bulgaria. So if you by any chance know where that is a small country with 2 million people.
And landlocked.
Yeah. Politically, it's not a good country. Actually, it's not a democratic country. So
we don't want to get you in trouble, but it's not all that much fun right now.
Yeah, that's my opinion. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and our hopes is to probably join European Union. So maybe one day we'll make it.
Would you say that hope is shared by your friends, family, generation? Who, when you say we hope to join the European Union, who is we?
I think the major part from the country wants to be a part of the European Union.
Okay.
Of course, there are some people that want to join Russia politically. That's like normal in Eastern Europe region.
Sure.
Yeah, but I think that majority of the people want to become a part to European Union because of the standards and everything and the connection with the countries. And I see Macedonia as a closed country with bad foreign relations, especially with the neighbors. Like we had a 25-year problem with Greece.
Yeah.
That's where I'm right now. And kind of we solved that problem, but there's still tension between the people and
lingering bad feelings.
Yeah.
Wow. How about artistically? It seems like artistically you'd want to be part of the EU. Seems like a better free flow of information. Is that true?
Yeah, I can agree with you that like we geographically we belong there, so in any way we are part of it, so we can't deny that. So whether it's politically or artistically or I don't know in which other way, I think that's our place and then there's no turning back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are some okay things. Like I think that the people are nice. The tourism is good. You should visit it sometimes. Also, it's cheap, so
that sounds great.
Yeah, that's like a plus. Yeah.
Nice and cheap is our kind of style.
Let's say Pete and I come and visit you in Macedonia. What are we going to do? Where are you going to take us? What are we going to see? Describe like the I would say, Pete, when we go there, we're going to have to spend at least 4 or 5 days, right? So
yeah, for sure.
What are we gonna do, man?
See nothing in
That's not enough, huh?
Like 10 days or 15 maybe.
Oh, man. Now we need 10 or 15 days, Pete. All right. What are we going to do?
Well, you have one of the oldest lakes in the world,
Okay.
the Ohrid Lake. I don't live there. I live in Skopje, but Ohrid is part of Macedonia too. So it's one of the oldest towns in Macedonia. And there are like 365 churches in the town. Like how many days in the year? That many churches.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could go to a different church every single day of the year.
Yeah. In one city.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a neat point of trivia, but that's not what I want us to do on our 10-day journey of Macedonia.
No.
So what's next?
Yeah, maybe it's some local food like Ivar or Ohrid's fish, like it's called pastromka. So the food is good.
Okay.
I like chavapi. That stuff's good. Chavapchichi.
Yeah, kebab.
And then bureks are awesome. I
Yeah,
love those
burek.
things.
Yeah.
You know what I tend to like? Pretty much whatever Pete likes. If Pete likes it, it's a pretty good bet I'm going to like it.
And it's like fila dough wrapped around sausage.
Oh,
And then you
shit,
chase
I'm
that with some
in.
pivo and some rakia.
Yeah, rakia and pivo. Yeah, that's like awesome.
Yeah. But what is it? What are you feeding me? I'm eating it. I'm already eating it. I'm down. Now tell me what it is.
So burek is like bread with meat.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, and rakia it's alcohol. So
Like I said, if Pete likes it, I'll like it.
And pivos are beers.
yeah, pivo
Uh-huh.
is beer. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you eat your burek and your pivo, and then you chase it down with some rakia, and then you get some really good coffee too afterwards.
Yeah, really good Turkish coffee.
All right. I like where we're headed with all this stuff.
Yeah, and also you can visit the mountains because Macedonia is really it has like 10 or 15 mountains. Yeah, like if you like hiking, it's great for hiking.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Hey, Damjan, let me ask you a question. So we started working on this, a couple of months ago. We've been slowly working on giving you more and more work, but I don't have a sense for what do you think about what you've gotten yourself into? I mean, I'm sure you weren't planning on being a full-time part of a show, but what do you? What's your thoughts? How did this whole process go for you?
Let me start from the beginning. I started freelancing audio production 2 years ago, and I had no actually hopes, or I thought that is not gonna go. Like I had no hope because there are a lot of people that are doing this, and I wanted to quit actually working as a freelancer, but somehow I stayed on the podcast platforms, and one day like so many clients wrote, and I started working a lot with not just you, like other clients. And then gave me a motive because I like to work audio production. I'm working in a radio station where I'm editing radio podcasts in Macedonian. And I don't mind doing that because I think there are two kinds of people in the world, like listeners and storytellers. I feel like I'm both of that. I like to listen and I like to tell stories. So when I edit podcasts, I listen to a lot of stories, and either I get motivated or I get sometimes sad from the stories, or I learn something about some topics I don't read or anything. So yeah, I really like doing that, and I don't know how far can I go with this. I want to do it full-time job, just editing and working on it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think it's going great right now, and it's really interesting. Like I'm editing the podcast and then I'm listening to the podcast again, so I like go through the stories from the people that are on any show that I'm on. So yeah,
That's pretty cool. Do you find that you're doing a lot of, like when you're way in the process and you're doing the editing, you're listening differently, right? You're listening from a technical perspective. You're listening from just to sew it together properly. And then separately, you go back and you listen to it for the content.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. When I'm editing, I'm looking for a mistake, like or I don't know, bad sentence that needs a cut or long pause, and I'm like a machine working on it. And then when I listened to the show, I'm like, oh, he said that. How did I did not hear that or something like that? Yeah.
That's when I'm yelling at him, going, "God damn it!"
Yeah, and I hate a lot of ums, and I know that I am making ums right now, so.
But you can get rid of them.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut this, so I want to apologize to myself for doing ums later on.
Making work for yourself to do.
Yeah.
When I tell people when I'm advising on how to do podcasts and I say to slow down, it's part to hear you go, when you can slow down long enough to hear yourself say that, and you're the one editing it, you definitely feel the pain. And so you clean up your language. It's remarkable.
Mm-hmm. I've never edited an episode with my voice on it, so
You're in for a treat.
Hey, so I offered you the opportunity to produce some episodes with some folks from the Balkan area. What do you have in store for us? What are you thinking about bringing to the table?
Ooh.
yeah, I think I have a good guess for you guys. Like really famous director, actually world famous director, Milcho Manchevsky.
Wow.
Yeah, he was nominated for an Oscar for Best Foreign Movie in 1994. The movie is called Before the Rain. I really want to interview him with you guys. Yeah, he
Nice.
has a lot to say. Then some music stars like Vlatko Stefanovsky. He's a guitar player for a band called Lapisol, that's bread and salt in English. He's world famous guitarist. You should hear him. Yeah, and made a album fight with him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't think that politicians could be interested in making podcasts, but I think that movie stars or directors or musicians or whatever in the culture industry, they could be interested. Yeah, of course.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm really interested in this show that you're going to do with Milcho Manchevsky because, as a filmmaker, I really want to know what his outlook is for what he's been doing. But I know that he also is very involved in American entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he made a music video for a rap group called Arrested Development.
Yeah, he made the Tennessee video.
Yeah.
And that was a really good and kind of groundbreaking video. I remember at the time they were really different and they were really culturally a lot more internationally appealing. And I really dug that about them, and he got them completely.
Yeah, well, actually, I think that he's a professor in the United States for film.
Yeah, he works in New York, right?
Yeah, he works in New York, and sometimes he's in Skopje, like he drinks beers in the bars I'm going out, so yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's around.
Wow. Well, even before you get him on the show, let him know that we're fans. We dig his work. We've been watching since he did that Tennessee video with the rest.
Have you ever watched one of his movies or something?
You know what? I'll go back and watch Before the Rain now, and I'll watch because he's made 5 or 6 features, right? And a lot of them have been spaced out, but he's still making features now.
Yeah, he released a movie like a year ago, and he's recording the next one. Yeah, so he's active on the scene. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder why he didn't get used more as a music video director, because that video was so good. It seemed like a natural choice that he would work in that genre for, as much as he wanted. So I have to speculate that he just wasn't interested.
I think that his focus is movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a film director, so I guess that his focus is movies.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can certainly respect that. And I'm glad to see that he's still hanging around in the bars. Hey, let me ask you about our Macedonia trip. Not that I want to pull you away from the topic that Pete started, because it's a good topic and we want to talk about what you're going to do professionally. But I'm kind of fixated on coming to Macedonia and hanging out with you. What else do you have in store for us? Because I asked you where, if you're going to take us around for a couple weeks, I don't want to go to church every day. I certainly don't want to go to a different church every day. as much as you know Pete and the way that Pete and I operate, I would imagine that you'd have a pretty good idea that we probably wouldn't come to Macedonia to go to church at all.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but from architecture point of view, you would like to go like in one or two. I don't believe in God either, but I like to visit churches. Like,
hey, take it easy. We didn't say we don't believe in God. We just said we don't want to go to church every day.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm giving you a hard time.
I don't know. Skopje it's interesting city. You wouldn't go in winter because it's polluted.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't take a breath, so it's not a good idea. But I think in summer it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to a music festival with you guys.
Oh yes. Now he's speaking our language, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some jazz music or world music. There's a good world music festival.
Yeah, that's terrific.
What if we took like a weekend and went to the Dalmatian coast?
Oh, Dalmatian coast. That's not that close. Have you been there?
Yes, it's not that far. Look, if we're coming halfway across the world, something that takes a couple hours to get to, that ain't no thing.
I was there like 2 months ago from the Dalmatian coast, and it's really nice. That's in Croatia, actually.
It's gorgeous there. That is beautiful. That's the beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
And what's it on the coast of? I mean, what body of water is that?
It's right across it's like the Gulf of Baja from Italy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and the sea is called Ionian.
Yeah,
Sea.
the Ionian Sea.
Yeah.
And it's not that
Ionian
far.
Sea, yeah.
Like
it's not that far.
We would fly into Rome, take a bus or train over to Brindisi, hop on a ferry, and we could be in the Balkans a couple hours. It's not bad at all.
Balkan starts with Slovenia, then Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, Montenegro, and Macedonia. That's the Balkans. And plus Albania, Bulgaria, and Greece. Yeah.
All right. So the lingering question, though, is how do the chicks like American guys? This episode of the Break It Down Show is brought to you by Lions Rock Productions.
That's us.
We publish, evaluate, and develop podcasts just like this one, consult others to build their own, and create associated content and content marketing strategies.
So if you're launching or expanding your social media presence, your business, or your personal brand, or if you just want to take your media presence to the next level,
reach out to us on Twitter
at Pete A. Turner
or at JohnLG69
at the Break It Down Show.
There's 1,000 ways to get a hold of us.
Now enjoy the show.
All right. So the lingering question, though, is how do the chicks like American guys?
They love them.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get us in trouble.
I don't want to sound racist or something, but when a black guy comes in a club, like all the hot chicks blend in. So
I see.
Because there are only white people or just a foreign guy. It doesn't matter. Like that's how it goes. Yeah.
Just anytime you have a really homogenous population, when somebody shows up and they look different, people get curious about it.
Yeah, of course.
What segment of the population there speaks English?
I would say the young people mostly, but some of the young people can speak English. It's because English language is really foreign to us. Our mother language, the Macedonian. It's really different. Yeah, if I say a sentence in Macedonia, you wouldn't understand the word. Maybe Pete will do because he was in Bosnia.
Because he's been around.
Yeah, he's been around.
But it's completely different language.
It's a completely different language. Yeah, it's a Slavic language.
How about your sentence structure? Because I know, like I have a friend who is Russian, and he says if you take a simple sentence with 4 or 5 words, in Russian, you can say those 4 or 5 words in any order, and the sentence means the same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. Yeah, he's right. That's in Russian. It's the same way in Macedonian. You can mix the words in one sentence, and that will sound correctly.
Okay.
You can't do that in English.
No, we've overcomplicated things in English, for sure.
I think it's easy to learn English in Macedonia or anywhere in the world because the pop culture is in English. So
pop culture and business we have going for us. So if you want to, if you're interested in pop culture or you want to do business with,
If you watch movies or listening to music or read books in English,
right?
you're gonna learn it. Yeah.
Okay.
I know that my English is not perfect.
Oh, you do a great job, man.
Yeah, but I think that's normal because my mother language is really different. Yeah.
Yeah, for somebody whose primary language is so different, you do a great job with English.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And it's clear that you have, artistic references and stuff like that you call on. So that works too.
I'm learning a lot English from the podcast.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because there are some people that speak a complicated English in some of the episodes I work on. So I'm hearing the word and then I'm translating to Google Translate.
Right.
Yeah, I get the meaning of the word if I don't know the word meaning.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we got a lot of smart folks on the show. I mean, we got PhDs throwing out all kinds of words, and there's times when I can infer what the word means, but I don't have a command of that word's definition. There's plenty of times like that.
Yeah. I want to point out that my favorite episode to edit so far was the one with Steve Hutton, the manager of Kid Rock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
If you remember that guy, yeah, that was definitely my favorite.
What did you like about it?
His stories about working in music industry, because that's my topic. Yeah, I work as a stage manager on festivals.
Oh, terrific.
His stories were really cool. Yeah, how he started, like he worked with Kid Rock. That's really cool.
That is cool. At a very crucial moment in his development of his career.
Yeah.
Tell us about some artists you really like.
I like the Gorillaz a lot.
All right.
They're like my favorite band.
Yeah, okay.
The Doors are one of my favorites. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Fatboy Slim, DJs like and producers like him, or Moby, if you heard about it.
Sure.
And yeah, some old school rock bands like Black Sabbath or.
So a real mix.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, like classic rock and everything that has groove. Like if it has groove, I like it. I don't see it like I have to listen to this genre and stick it to that. Like I like listening from pop to hip hop to rock and roll to jazz to blues or anything.
Everything
or
in
even
between.
folk music. Yeah, I like Johnny Cash a lot.
Smart.
All right.
You're smart. Hey, let me ask you this about podcasting over where you're at. I know that in America, gosh, there's a new podcast every instant that someone's like, I'm going to start podcasting. And that's great. I love the creative aspect of it. How is it taking hold in the Balkans? I mean, is Kosovo the same as Bosnia? I mean, do Slovenians even care about podcasts? What's your sense?
Actually, when I was in Split, I was talking with some of my colleagues from there. And I was talking to Slovenians or Croatians and Serbians, and nobody in that region actually makes a podcast. Everyone sticks to the radio, to the FM radio. And I don't think that podcasts are really popular around here because radio networks are still in power and business. I don't know how it goes with radio stations in the United States. But I know that podcasting is really popular and trending right now.
I'll tell you how it goes here in the United States. I live in LA, one of the biggest media markets really in the world. And the radio station the other day had an ad for the radio station. Hey, advertising on radio is a great idea. So that's how it's going. And that's coming for you guys. I mean, look at the power of what we're doing here. We're connecting across continents and oceans. Today I've had conversations with 3 different PhDs and an author of a fantastic book, and no one was stopped for a stupid commercial break. It wasn't point counterpoint. It was good conversations, so.
Yeah, there were no stupid songs in the background, like in the radio stations. And there's a guy coming out, listen to my radio show later on or something like that. Yeah, I know that radio networks can be boring. Sometimes, and I guess that's
so a day to day, like as you promote the show and everything. Because I know we talked about this a little bit. What do you do then to get your friends to pay attention? Because I mean, what what you're part of is a really big show, right? Like there's 500 episodes. We've talked to world famous people. It's a pretty big deal. Do your friends get it yet?
Certainly they do. Like the guy that sits across to me right now, my tech support, Angel, he listens to the show. As soon as I started working with, I talked to him. So I told him, hey, man, I'm working on a show that interviewed the drummer of the Police or the singer of The Offspring or something like that. Actually, Offspring are his favorite band, so he took a listen from that show. I think that my friends acknowledge that. Also, my brother listens a lot of podcasts. He listens to Norm Macdonald podcast or Joe Rogan. He's a jiu-jitsu fighter, so he listens to the UFC episodes with Tito Ortiz or I don't know that guys. I don't watch that. But look, the young people actually listen to podcasts, and the older ones don't know how to open a show on a mobile phone. So
there's lots of opportunity to grow and expand in the market. I love that, and even more reason for John and I to pop out there and do a visit.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe,
I think that young people are listening to podcasts. I was reading a story from some journal in the United States that podcasts are getting so popular, more popular and more popular in the world. Like I think that was like 30% from the year before. So podcasts are coming into Europe, but I think they are mostly popular in the United States and Australia. I know that Australia produce a lot of podcasts. Yeah, people are stick to radio shows, and they are sitting in a car and listening to whatever it comes on the radio. Like I like the free flow of the podcast that you can play any episode you want. Like the night before, I was sleeping with a podcast, and that's normal to me. But a lot of people don't listen to it, and they are watching stupid videos on YouTube. Yeah.
Well, man, I speaking for the show and all of our friends that listen, I love it. I love it that you're part of the show, that you're helping me out to be able to grow what we're doing, to be even bigger things, to know that, you get it. To find someone who gets it is always special, whatever country they're in. So for me personally, I love the service that we're giving people, the ability to, whether they're going to sleep or driving to work or in their cubicle, it's just it's a chance to share stories of humanity and fellowship. And, I always say we illustrate life. This is proof of it. I mean, here we are living across, John and I are 500 miles apart, and then you're in a different continent altogether, 10 hours away, time zone wise. And yet we're all connected in this common moment. And I love stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. And I like working with different kind of people. Like I like it when I'm meeting new people and share my stories with them, and they share their stories with me, and basically learn something from them, and hopefully they learn something from me. Course. Also, I had an idea to start a podcast in Macedonia, obviously in Macedonian language, but I saw that there was only one existing podcast in Macedonia, and he didn't make it.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's there. He had like 20 or 30 episodes, and he quit it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll start in the future. I want to do a comic show, a comic podcast with a friend. Maybe we'll do it. Yeah.
You mean a podcast centered around comedy, or or you like comic books? Okay.
Yeah, centered around comedy because we like to make jokes with each other. And he's my best friend actually, and he's an actor, so we might do that in the future. But right now, I don't think that there's a market for Macedonian podcasts in Macedonia.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm with Pete. That means that now's the time to get started.
Yeah, exactly. get in and start laying the tile down and establishing a floor and make it so that every comedian anywhere in the Balkans, anybody who tours that area regionally, they know that you're a voice. And even if 5 people listen, 5 is the next number in line is 6, and then it's 7, 8, 9, 10. Next thing you know, you've got hundreds of people paying attention because you're bringing the funny in a way that nobody else can.
Yeah, I know, but when you talk in English, the world is market. And when you talk in Macedonian, it's 2 million people. I think that's the problem. You speak in your mother language, like in Macedonian. So the market is so small that I don't think that radio networks are listened enough, or the TV shows are watched, or the books are read in great numbers, because the market is so small. When you're talking in English, actually the world is your market. That's beautiful.
Perfect.
Is there a base language for you guys, whether it's, the Serbian flavor or the Croatian flavor of your Slavic language? Is there like in America, we have certain regions where we're like, that's like the voice of America. It's very accent neutral. The newscasters kind of speak that. Is there a thing like that for you guys?
Yeah, that's Serbian, because most countries in the Balkan region speak Serbian. Yeah, that's like Croatia, Slovenia speaks mixed Serbian with their language. That's Bosnia, that's Montenegro, and of course Serbia. And a lot of people, in the majority of people of Macedonia, speak Serbian and listen to Serbian music and watch Serbian movies. So I think Serbian is the basic language in the Balkans. So we might do it in Serbian. I don't know. We got to think about it.
John and I are the kind of guys that are like, we're just going to tell you to start doing it. And if you use Serbian as the base language, I mean, if you speak Macedonian, they'll know you're Macedonian, but they're going to understand what you're saying. I mean, it's not that different, right? Like, it's just it's a dialect difference. So they'll understand it. And I would say that if you did it with comedians, would be great. But also, look, all people in the Balkans who are in entertainment need a voice. And they go on radio now, but you start asking and you provide this new area to get a voice, you're going to exchange influence with them. So if it's the 15 most notable musicians and you get half of them on your show, what's going to happen is the other ones are going to come. The comedians are going to come. The authors are going to come. And all of those elements of your culture are going to come because you're respecting what you guys do and you're giving them a voice in a way that nobody else is doing it. So it takes a long time, but I say you do it and just start building the market out.
That's a good advice. Thanks. Yeah, of course. And there are a lot of notable people to interview in Macedonia.
Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of people want to get out there.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm just glad to get this amount of information. I'm glad to get some participation from Damjan in terms of our aspirations to come to Macedonia. I'm glad he's committed to taking us out to the nightclubs and introducing us to all the ladies who will find us interesting. And it looks like we're going to drink well and get fed well. So we got to get started, Pete.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It looks like it's $600 to fly to Rome in late October. So we can go do that for a week.
From Rome to Skopje, it's like $50. So yeah.
Yeah, so for $500 or so dollars, we can get all the way to Rome, and then $50, $100, whatever it's going to be, from Rome to Skopje, and we'll be in good
then
shape.
you need like $30 to eat and drink for a week. So
for a what? A week?
For a week, yeah, not 30, but 100. Yeah.
Oh shit! I might move there. Hey, the other thing is we can get an Airbnb. And, hopefully get one in a neighborhood where we can really get to know the village really well.
Or you can take a place at my home and meet my dog.
Well, we'll do that too.
Yeah, of course.
But I want to definitely stay out late at night and meet the people who are eating good food late at night. Because people who eat good food late at night, those are my people.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on. You're on vacation, by the way.
Yeah.
And also, you've helped us check off Greece as a place that we've recorded from.
Yeah.
So Greece is off the list. We're going to get you live in Macedonia. Yeah. And listen, I want you to create your podcast, but in the meantime, let's just start hosting some shows and building the name.
Yeah, that's my
with the
plan.
Break It Down show, and then we'll just.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, we'll spin you off, and we're going to make it happen,
thanks.
man.
That's
great.
great.
Right on. Hey, Damjan, thanks a lot, man, for your great work with us, and look forward to seeing how your career unfolds.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for the opportunity, and I love doing this, so we're going to do it.
Terrific.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks, Pete.
Thank you.